Hi guys, today we are starting new section of our course. In this section we will improve our framework and learn some advanced REST-assured features. Let's start with request specification. Let's create request specification variable using request spec builder. So here at the beginning of our test, let's create request specification variable. Request specification, let's call it spec, equals new request spec builder, control space for the auto suggestions, so request spec builder, and let's set base URI dot set base URI. And the base URI, for, if you remember, basically every call that we make, the URL starts with restfulbooker.herokuapp.com. So let's cut this part from here, leave just ping, and add it here, and dot build, semicolon at the end. So request specification, let's call it spec, equals new request spec builder dot set, let me add enter here so it's easy to read, dot set base URI with our base URI and dot build. And the next step is to use our spec. So here, given, after given, we just do spec, control space for auto suggestions, and select our spec variable, or you can just type all this stuff manually. So given spec and our spec variable when get / ping and then assertion. So now instead of putting whole URL here inside of the get command, we basically add just the endpoint here, and the base URL is now set here. Now let's go to get booking test. So let's open get booking test and let's do the same here. So as you see, this test does not use BDD syntax, so we'll do another one here. So for you to see how to set request specification if we are using given, when, then syntax, and if we are not using this syntax. So let's copy this request specification from here. So copy, paste it here at the beginning of your code. And now let's use it. So all we have to do to add our request specification is here, after rest assured, before get, we just do so rest assured dot given, and as you see, we can select this given that also receives the request specification variable. So let's select it and let's select our spec. So rest assured given spec dot get, and now we can remove our base URL from here and leave just /booking/5 and save. Now some of you already see the benefits of this, but for those of you that wonder why write more code if we can just use full request URL in each test, here's an explanation. First of all, setting up new base URL is not the only feature of request specification. We can do much more with it, and we will. I will show you more features of the request specification later in the course. But before we do that, we have some code duplication. You see, this line, this part of our test here, where we create a request specification, is exactly the same as this part here inside of health check test. So let's use TestNG features and extract it into before method. So let's open our base test and here create new public void setup method. About this method, we will add before method annotation. And let's import this annotation from TestNG, import before method from TestNG annotations. And now we can go here, cut this part from here and paste it here. Also, we want to have this request specification spec declaration inside of the class, not inside of the method. So this spec variable gonna be a class level variable. So let's cut it from here and paste it here. And this spec is gonna go here. Let's make it protected. So protected request specification spec, we declare our variable here, and then we assign value to our spec inside of before method. Now let's save this. Let's go to health check test. Let's remove this from here. Save. But now we have errors. So this spec, this class doesn't know what is spec. Same here. This class doesn't know what is spec. So all we have to do is to let our test class get booking test, extend base test class, and let's import base test extends. Okay, it automatically imported base, but if it didn't for you, just make sure to import. Where is it? Okay, so we don't even need to import this base test. Our application already knows where is this class. Com, HeroQuap, RESTful Booker, base test. So now we have unused imports. We can remove them manually or source, organize imports and save. So now let's go to health check test. Let's do the same. So public class health check test extends base test. No longer used imports. Ctrl-Shift-O on the keyboard to automatically fix all the imports. Now let me explain how this all gonna work if you do not know. So basically, let's go to health check test. As you see, our health check test extends base test. Every time we run TestNG test, we have this add test annotation. TestNG gonna look for methods that are marked with add test. But before running each add test, TestNG looks if there is any before method. So method marked with add before annotation. So in this case, this before method will be executed every time before our test method. So TestNG knows if we run health check test, TestNG knows that before running code inside this method, it have to run code inside this method. So the first step gonna be creating this request specification variable and setting up base URI. And then when TestNG executes steps inside of this test, this variable already created in base test. And because health check test extends base test, it can access this variable. And this variable is protected, not private, so it can be used in other methods that extend this base test. So this is how we can extract this part of code into before method that will be used in all our other methods. So now we can go ahead, extend all of our tests with base test and add this given spec. So let's go here, create booking. Oh, actually create booking is the method here inside of our base test class. So we can add spec here and then remove this part here and save. If we go to create booking, it already extends our base test. So where's our, oh, create booking is already extracted, so this method is completed. If we go to delete booking, we can do the same here, given spec, and remove this part, base URL, and basically go ahead and do this for all other test classes. So here, rest assured that given, oops, not null, spec, get this, get booking will already done, health check already done, partial update booking it's already extends. So now all we have to do is just add spec here and remove base URI, and same for update booking, it's already extends. So remove this, add spec, and I guess that's it. I think here we have another request. No? Oh yeah, one and this is second. Okay. So I think we fixed all our tests. Yeah, looks like we fixed all our tests. So now every time we run any test, and let's just run. Let's run health check for example. We run test and it works. We run other test and it works. So now you know how you can create and use request specification, and later we will do more with the request specification.